Appreciate you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. How's everybody doing? I thought that was a great introduction right into the very end. And then the prissy part. You'd be happy to know we're at Renee's table here, and the cookie platter is completely full. So if anybody needs extra cookies, they're available on Renee's table. You could just see people eyeing them like this, and then looking to see if Renee was looking, So good to be with you. Thank you so much for the invitation to come back. It's a pleasure to be with you. I am going to teach you today, help you today. I think you already know some of this stuff, but I'm going to help you be better at hosting amazing meetings. Presidents-elect, raise your hand. Look at this. It's an army. You are going to host 50 more meetings next year than you hosted last year, and also 12 BODs. Everybody? Board of directors, right? So you're going to be in front of the room quite a bit. I'm going to help you with that. As I was preparing for my speech, and by the way, I am so glad to be with my old friends. Michelle O'Brien is here, Alan's here, Dean Roars is here, Peter Schultz is here, Wynn, thank you for the great speech. So many friends. We have, and Camarota, Paisan, Italiano. Any other Italian people in the room? Hands up. Not many, wow. Any Leos in the room? Hands up. 1/12 of you. Fabulous. While I'm prepping my speech, I'm binging SNL 50. Saturday Night Live is celebrating 50 years. Has anybody seen any of that footage? It is remarkable. A lot of us grew up with that program. I was around, I was in like the perfect age, high school, senior, junior, when that show debuted. And I'm watching the show, and I'm thinking, what do you need to be alive for 50 years? What do you need to be vital for 50 years? And I came up with 3 things right away. You have to be relevant, which Saturday Night Live still is most of the time. You have to be fun. I think that's important. And you have to be enduring. And I take a break from watching SNL 50 to working on my speech, and I'm thinking, Rotary should have those 3 things. We're like 2X on the 50 thing. We're like 119 years old. Are we fun? I think so. Are we enduring? Clearly, right? So I start thinking, too, about the things that happened during just the last 50 years, say with SNL. And I think about technological changes. I think about things like the Ice Bucket Challenge. You remember the Ice Bucket Challenge? It's 20 years old this year. Seems like it was just yesterday we were all pouring ice buckets over each other's heads. Do you know that program raised $115 million in one summer? That's something. Yeah, don't clap too loud. The money didn't go to Rotary. Where did it go? ALS, Lou Gehrig. But it was a simple but brilliant idea. And you don't have to be technical, but a lot of the advances in the last 50 were technical. Coffee shops were reinvented big time. We used to have the coffee shop, was also known as the donut shop. It didn't even have its real own identity. And then Starbucks, Howard Schultz, comes out with this thing, and he's going to charge you $8 for a coffee eventually. And you're going to go, I'm in. What's not to like about $8 coffees? And we made that happen. The taxi industry has been remade in the last 50 years thanks to Uber and ride sharing. And the taxi industry needed to be remade. And then the most remarkable technological innovation of all time, and I'm from Detroit, so a car engineer walked into his boss about 25 years ago, and he said to the boss, I have this great idea, you're going to love it, it's going to be good for the industry, it's going to be good for the ecology, we're going to save billions of dollars in fuel every year. The boss says, lay it on me. The guy says, well, here's the story. Everybody that's driving a car, when they get to a red light, the car's going to shut off. And the boss says, and then? And he said, well, as soon as the light turns green, the car will automatically start up again. And the boss said, you're fired. That's the stupidest idea I ever heard. And that was before it was named stop-start technology, and now you have it in your car. These are the major things that have happened. The problem with technology is if you're not technologically based, you're not going to trip on tech. It's not going to happen. And we're a people organization. For us to be innovative, we have to take a simple idea like the Ice Bucket Challenge and make it our own. We have to conceive it. We have to curate it. We have to roll it out. That's marketing. And we have to celebrate it. And we need to get better at this, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll give you a quick example of how we can do this. I loved Mario's quote last night. He said, Rotary is a vaccination for loneliness. I mean, right away, I'm on social, and I credited him, President-elect of Rotary International said this. I give a shout out to Rotary and promote his great quote. Rotary is a vaccination against loneliness. I loved it. And then I thought about it. I was having breakfast on Friday here at the hotel, and I was stunned at how many people were eating breakfast alone at a Rotary conference. Now, part of this is just human nature, this idea I don't want to interrupt the foretop, and I don't want to, wedge my way into maybe they're talking about something personal. I'll just sit here by myself. And there were people sitting next to each other by themselves at a Rotary conference. And I thought to myself, we're better than this. So I decided to have some fun. And I started inserting myself into their meals by introducing myself, asking who they were, asking what their role was at the conference. Raise your hand if I talked to you at breakfast. There's a few in the room. In fact, I engaged, where's Paul and Daniel? Are you here today? Stand up if Daniel's a firefighter and Paul is an accountant. Are you in the room? Daniel, how are you, sir? Wave to your people. Where's Paul? Not here? Oh, on the other side. Okay, so I introduced these guys on Friday at breakfast. You'll notice they are not sitting together anymore. But am I telling the truth? You were alone at breakfast, right? And what did I tell you to do on the way out? I told you to introduce yourself to my foretop, and you did, and it was lovely, and I thank you for that. And good luck with your presidency years. Thank you, gentlemen. Well done. So before I give you these techniques for improving your club meetings, I want to tell you, and Tony said it very nicely, but I have some experience with encouragement. I'm a professional coach. Now, you should know that there are people whispering in your ear as you're getting ready to be president. They whisper in your left ear and they whisper in your right ear. And one of the sides are called positive angels, and they give you really good advice, valuable consult. And there are people that talking smack into the other ear. And you have to decide which ones you're going to listen to, because you can't listen to both. If you listen to both, they cancel each other out. Beethoven, the great composer, sadly went deaf very early in his life. And as he was diagnosed, if they used that term back then, as he was diagnosed with deafness, his coaches, the people that cared about him most, his mentors, said to him, Ludwig, we're so sorry about your deafness. You're going to have to give up music. You can't hear. How can you compose? How can you create music if you can't hear? But did Beethoven listen? No, he did not listen. He was deaf by 30. He died by age 56. And we just found out, just last year, doctors found out that he died of lead poisoning. And the doctors that figured it out billed for 297 years of billable time as they diagnosed Beethoven's death. All right, get out your pens. We're going to talk about how to become an amazing front-of-the-room person. You can use this stuff at your work as well, everybody. I'm going to give you 6 ways to rock your meetings. The first one is a platform springboard from Renee's great talk this morning, which is health. It's in this order. You take care of your health first, then you take care of your family, then you take care of work stuff, and then you do Rotary. And that doesn't mean you do Rotary at midnight. You can do Rotary first thing in the morning. You can do it throughout the day. I like to do Rotary at the edges of the day, because Rotary is not my whole life. It wasn't even my whole life when I was a governor. I had exercise programs. I had stuff I wanted to do. We found a way to make it fit. Yes, it was like a game of Tetris, trying to organize the day, but you can do it. If I can do it, you could do it. There are people that say you can't be you got to be retired to hold an important office in Rotary. I was a traveling speaker in my district governor year. You can do it. I would fly home from the airport to go home to ring the bell for my club and go back to the airport again. You can do it. Okay, so, and by the way, we were in the line for the buffet for lunch, and I heard the hotel people talking, because this is the second meal they've served today, and I heard the hotel people, they're watching the buffet, and they go, people are eating differently at lunch. They did. Not only than they did at breakfast than they ever have before. What's going on here? The second piece is engagement. You have to get better at engagement if you're going to lead from the front of the room. I'll give you some examples. The first is compliments. You should get really good at giving compliments if you're going to be the president of your club. There are two types of compliments, everybody, inside and outside. Outside compliments are the foundation of our society. We see it, and then we say it. So we see a color that somebody's wearing, that color looks good on you. Did you get your hair cut? You got some sun last weekend. We see it, then we say it. And people love these kind of compliments, but they don't hold a candle to inside compliments, and these are the things you cannot see about the other person. Like what? Their energy, their spirit, their enthusiasm, their sense of duty, their honor, all those things. You compliment people on stuff on the inside, and they will move closer to you. They will be your posse because they'll know you get them for who they are. It's a beautiful thing. Inside compliments. I want you to do something called name checking. It used to be called name dropping. It's now called name checking. I did a cluster of them at the beginning of my talk because I know people like to hear their names. And you should do that at all your president meetings. You should be doing shout outs to people. You're really good at this. It's so good to see you. Nice to see you. So don't get all mired up in your own duties and forget that you actually have live people in the room that want to hear their favorite word, which is what? Their name. Excellent. Thank you. Also, I want you to use something called the 5-column business or 5-column agenda. It's a meeting agenda. I'm going to do the 5 columns for you from left to right. Here we go. The first column is how many minutes the segment will take. If you're doing a 1-hour meeting, the first segment may only be 3 minutes, and all those segments will add up to 60. So the first column is how many minutes the segment will take. The second column is the type of segment it is. Only three things happen in meetings. Am I going too fast for you? You got it? 3 things happen in meetings. Announcements, discussion, and action. Those are the only 3 things. Announcements are very quick. Discussions take time. Even action, a vote to do something, happens pretty quickly. And you can budget your time accordingly. If somebody says, we need to talk about this, no, we don't need to talk about it. It's just an announcement. The third column is the topic matter itself. The fourth column, the fourth column is the champion of the topic. Don't make yourself the champion of every topic, or your club will get what's called president fatigue. Some of them have it already, and you haven't even started yet. President fatigue means they shut off when they hear the sound of your voice. There's too much of it. When you have other voices in the meeting, it's like changing the gears in the car, in the old stick-shift cars, when you change the gear in the car, and it jolts a little bit. If a man's been talking for 20 minutes and a woman starts talking, everybody goes, what's this now? And vice versa. So you want different voices in the meeting, and different champions will help you get there. The 5th column is results. What happened as a result of all of this stuff we did today? Did we make a decision? Is it still on the agenda for next week, or is it falling off because it's not important after all? So the 5-column meeting agenda. The third component I want to share with you about how to be more effective with meetings is influence. Influence. Now, Rotary is what's called an egalitarian organization. That means we're all the same. I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. We're all the same. We're all equal. Sounds good on the surface. But as president of the club, you cannot be like everybody else. If you're like everybody else, nobody's going to listen to you. You must be presidential. And here are some quick ways to do that. I want you to think about marrying your superpower to the Rotary cause of your choice through your club, through the lens of your club. So, for example, if you're good at logistics, or you're good at marketing, or maybe you're good at numeracy, you're good with numbers, you're probably in the right kind of person to schedule what's called a 100-person event for your club. I'm a big proponent of 100-person events because in a relatively small town, if you put 100 people in a room for something, it's a thing. People like that. The media shows up. People are talking. Everybody's going to this. It's called critical mass in marketing. And you want to do events that have critical mass. So 100 people is a critical mass type of a program. Also, you would use something that, I call it the yell, it's a kind of a mean phrase, yell at the dog voice. You know, how many of you have pets? Pets? Hello, in the stripe, do you have pet at home? Nothing. Nope. Do you not like animals? What the? Okay. Pet?
Used to have a cat.
Oh, great. Your cat just died. Sorry. Who's got a dog? All right. What's the dog's name?
Leo.
Leo. What kind of dog is Leo?
Lab Great Dane mix.
Lab Great Dane mix. So he's a little guy. Does Leo ever do anything wrong? Daily. And when Leo does something wrong, do you say, Leo? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with you, Leo. That's just not acceptable. Or do you yell at the dog? Yes, you do. Tone of voice, same thing. This is what I'm talking about. So when you use your yell at the dog voice with the club, now here's the difference. Watch my expression. If I don't smile, it sounds like I'm yelling at the dog. Leo, what are you doing here? Leo, why did you do that? But if I smile, I'm happy to see Leo. Leo, what are you doing here? And that's the voice I want you to use with your club. Don't tell them the backstory, just do it. Also, some of you will be charged with reading at the podium because President has to do lists and read stuff. So I'm going to show you a technique for not getting lost. Because when you get lost in the front of the room, it's a demerit. Your club won't see anything because they're cool people. But if you're befuddled all the time and you're confused all the time, it's going to start to show up on your record somewhere. So if you're, for example, imagine, sir, would you stand up and hold the microphone for me? Just hold it right there, thank you. So imagine now I'm at the podium, the mic's here, and so if I'm right-handed, I'm going to gesture and wave, you know, I'm going to gesticulate with my right hand. My left hand, I'm using my index finger to read down the list because I know I don't want to read to my club, so when I look up, if I don't have any indicator of where I'm at, when I come down, I'm lost again. So that index finger never leaves the page. And I'm talking and reading and talking and reading, and that's how you don't get lost when you're reading at the podium or the lectern. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, let's do the fourth piece, which is marketing. I made a bold statement on social some time ago, and I have a group on Facebook for marketing. It's free. It's called Get the Word Out Now. And it will help you grow your club and raise more money and get attention. It's free. Get the word out now. And I posted on the site, I said, you know, if you're a president-elect of a club and you're not on Facebook, it's going to be a long year. Because that's how we market now. Facebook is free. And Rotary doesn't have money to market. Most of the time, we don't. And the president's not on Facebook. Our club had a speaker chair for a long time that wasn't on Facebook. And people would ask questions about the speaker, and the speaker chair is like, la, la, la. They don't see it. They're not on Facebook. They're asking if they can speak to the club. Speaker chair doesn't see the message. You got to play you got to fish where the fish are. You got to play in traffic if you're going to do marketing. When you post to Facebook, I want you to look for something called a 10 response post. 10 response posts. So anytime you post on behalf of Rotary, you should do this with your personal post too. You're looking for 10 pings back from people. Now, all posts aren't created equal. A like is the least valuable. When somebody likes your post, it's worth something, a little dopamine hit, but it doesn't have the currency of a comment. And a comment doesn't have the currency of a what? Of a share. That's the holy grail. You get people to share your stuff, that means it's worth something. If they don't share it, it's not worth anything, you see? And so when you're promoting events, remember that. You want to get 10 response posts if you can do that. Those of you emailing, and please tell me you have two lists in your club. You have a club list and you have a Friends of Rotary list. These are the people that would come to your events, donate money, do things for the club. If your club has 30 members in it, your distribution list should be 100x. That's 3,000 people in your community. That's how you get 100 people to come to your event. You build that list, you curate it, you only send them good news, and then they patronize you. That's how it works. Most clubs are terrible at this. They don't have the patience to curate the list and collect the emails. But it's not hard. If you do email, group emails, that kind of a thing, bulk emails, you're going to look for a kind of a chain of events. The first thing you have to get is what's called a delivery rate. So if you have 3,000 people on your list, you're looking to see how many people actually took delivery on it. Do you have a lot of dupes? Are there people that have been deceased that are on your list? They're not opening your mail. So once you get the open rate, then you're looking at the delivery rate. You're looking at something called the open rate. How many people actually opened your email? Because if they didn't open it, it's like they didn't get it. Then you're looking for something called the read rate, which is very difficult to measure. And the holy grail in email is what? Click-through rate. It's called CTR. You knew that. CTR. Did they click on something in the email? And that could be measured easily, too. It's a registration link. It's a chance to donate money. Did they click? Because if they're not clicking, you're not doing it right. You could do it better, is my point. And that's how you do email. So we've got health, engagement, influence, marketing, now time management. Listen to me carefully. This is probably the most important thing I'm going to say to you today. Presidents, the work gets done between the meetings, not at the meetings. There's too much eating and food spitting at your meetings. The work gets done between the meetings. And I believe this so fervently when I was in charge of stuff. I'm kind of in a different space now. But when I did the club president, when I did the district governor, I would call people on the way to the meeting so I knew what I was walking into. It was almost like a Saturday Night Live skit. I would call them and they'd say, yeah, Michael, what do you call? Did you dial me by accident? I'm going to see you in a few minutes. And I said, no, I haven't heard from you all week. I want to make sure that you got done that thing we said you were going to do. Oh, they got the hang of that pretty quick. I was going to call them on the way to the meeting. It became like a joke. And then I would call people right after the meeting on the way home because I knew where to find them. They were in their car. And I'm using all that time because I got other things to do with my life besides Rotary. So these are little time management tricks that I think you can use to success as well. Recently, we joined a group called the Detroit Economic Club, and it's called the DEC. And Steve Gregorian runs the event, and he has hundreds of people come to lunch. And it's interesting because Steve's got this little motto when he's wrapping things up. He says to the group, on time, every time. On time, every time. And I look at my watch, and son of a gun, he's ending the meeting right to the minute. You have to value other people's time. You know that, right? And so I know a lot of clubs, they couldn't get out on time if the fire alarm went off at exactly the time the meeting ended. People wouldn't leave. So you got to make it clear to people, we're starting on time, we're ending on time, and they will perform for you. Finally, we have legacy. This is not about ego. This is not about you, being more important than the club or anything else. Just think about the answer to this simple question. How will people remember this next year, your year, 5 years from now? What will they say about Dennis's year? Will they say, oh yeah, well, that was the first year we raised $20,000 for a fundraiser. That was the year we went electronic on the payments. Or what about Denise's year, where they say, we didn't do much during Denise's year? Or will they say, that was the lost year? 5 years from now, you mark my words, people are going to be talking about your year, and you need a legacy goal. And a good legacy goal would be something with a number, because numbers can be measured, and numbers can keep everybody accountable. Think about things like a $10,000 net fundraiser. And when I was president, not that I was the greatest president, but we had all these, I don't mean to be disrespectful, it was the best we could do at the time. We were doing these cheesy fundraisers, $2,000, $3,000. They weren't well managed. And I thought, we can do better than this, man. We should have a $10,000 net. But you know what we had to do to commit to that? We had to say no to all the cheesy fundraisers. They brought us the same thing they always bring us, and we had to say, nope, not doing it anymore. We're going to do a $10,000 net this year. And that's how we innovated the Viva La Vino wine tasting, which we did for a good 5 or 6 years, until that didn't work anymore, and then we had to find something else. And this is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. In my governor year, we did something called the $1 Million Dinner. What do you think the number was for that event? $1 million. And I'm sorry to say we didn't hit the number. We hit 1.2 million. Thank you. Not me, we, our team, 1.2 million. But we had our eye on something called the bullseye. Any idiot can aim at a target. But if you want exactly what you want, you have to aim at what? The bullseye. That's exactly what you want. And you have to identify that bullseye. Then you have to tell everybody what the bullseye is. You can do this. I know you can. Michelle, how are we doing on time, sister?
We were listening so hard, we haven't been paying attention to the time. You run a very exciting meeting.
Can you give me 10 more minutes?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Is it okay with you guys? I'm going to do something fun. I always do acknowledge the young people in the room. So if you're under 50 years old, if you're under 50 years old, will you please stand up and be recognized? Under 50. Look at this. Remain standing. If you're under 45, remain standing. Under 45. Look at this, hiding in plain sight. And I want to point something out. This happens everywhere I do this. Tony said I spoke in 6 countries. I've been on 6 continents, much of it, many dates with Rotary. The young people are always in the back of the room. And I'd like to change that. I'd like to see you in the front of the room more often, starting at dinner tonight. Deal? Deal? You don't have to be invited up here. You just come sit here. Yes? Yeah, the young people, I don't know. I'm not sure which is the salad fork. If you're under 40 years old, remain standing. Under 40. This is my favorite corner back here. Under 40, look at that. Under 35. Under 35. If you're under 35, come up to the stage right now. Hurry up. Come on. Give a round of applause. Alan. Am I doing this right, Alan? There we go. Oops, I just moved past it. Come on up with me. Yeah, line up behind me. I want to see you. Right here, and you're going to have to squeeze together because we have quite a few. Look at this, under 35. Holy, you can do 2 rows. Wowie, look at this. Wonderful. What's your name? Michael, is it pronounced Bolu?
That's correct.
What club are you in?
Club of Langley.
Very good. You can be president.
Absolutely.
Name and club.
Bo Issaquah.
Love it.
District 5100 Rotaract Club.
Wow, Rotaract.
I'm Victoria Rotaract Club.
Love it.
I'm co-president, Rotaract Club.
Look at you, you're dancing. Woohoo!
2 terms, Nome, Alaska.
Okay, don't rub it in.
What do we say?
Your name and your club.
Oh, okay. Angie Dieter, Rotary Club of Lakeview.
Beautiful.
Haley Petty, Rotary Club of Monroe.
Love it.
Amy Bailey, Coos Bay, North Bend.
Beautiful. If you spoke, you can move off the stage and I'll get to everybody here. While they're doing that, I want to tell you, young people are different than older people. Write that down. And older people are different than younger people. Listen to this. If you wonder why you're having a little tension in your club with younger people and older people, you just don't get each other. Listen to this. Young people are taught to retrieve. Old people were taught to remember. 2 different approaches. Older people function really well top down. These guys function better in hives. They don't need formal organization. They have the internet. Both groups bring drama. young and old. The young people are fond of saying, I'm on my journey, my exercise journey, right? A lot of journeys going on with the young generation. For older people, journey is Thursday. And then finally, young people, there's a phrase, language changes over time. Like when I was a kid, we never said, I'm going to put myself out there. There's a common phrase these days. I'm going to put myself out there. It's like I'm going to take a little risk. And older people call that saying hello. What club and name and club?
Derek Platt, Yelm Rotary.
Excellent.
Daniel Spalding, Portland New Generations Rotary.
David Kapp, Burley.
Marin Solis, Bremerton.
Love it.
Daniela Hope, BC, Canada.
Fireman.
Chantal Morphy, Camels Daybreak.
Love it.
Luis Doshi, Rotary Club of Terrace.
Beautiful.
Eugene Southstone, Oregon.
Lovely.
Michael Sewell, East Salem, Oregon.
Luke Borland, Portland Rotaract.
Luis Calva, Yakima Rotaract.
Jordan Kingma, Oak Harbor, Washington.
Matt Waite, Rotary Club of Powell River.
Yes, you are.
Tyler, Golden Rotary.
Yes.
Corey Curzan Mata, Columbia River Passport Club of District 5080.
That'll become a little smoother in a couple months. Kevin.
I'm Kevin Karimi from West Vancouver Sunrise, representing District 5040 here today, and I have 2 terms on the docket.
Tyler Ferrari, Rotary Club of Dallas, Oregon.
That sounds like a soap opera name, Tyler Ferrari. And 2 more. Tori.
Tori Douglas, Moses Lake.
Brandon Douglas, Moses Lake.
How about a round of applause for our youth? Get out of here. Go back to work. We have a tradition in Rotary. We always ask the oldest people in the room what to do next. You want to know what to do next? Ask these people. They'll tell you. They'll give you options too. Wynn was right. You're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. I'll go a step further. You're going to make some people angry. If you change your club at all, you're going to make some people mad. You cannot make everybody happy as a leader. You know what makes everybody happy? Tacos. Close. Repeat after me. I am not a taco. That's a hashtag if I've ever heard one. I am not a taco. You are both amazing, awesome, and you are flawed. Some of you are deeply flawed. You are flawed and you are awesome. You are flawsome. Have a great president year, everybody, and thank you for serving in the greatest organization in the history of the world, Rotary!